Let me ask you a question. Have you been feeling overwhelmed by the fear of failure, self-doubt, and just not being good enough? Have you been procrastinating on important tasks that you know you need to get done? Have you been people-pleasing and saying yes to way too many things that deep down you know you should be saying no to? And as a result, you are so stressed right now that you can't even think. Are you struggling to stay in control of your emotions, getting easily triggered by the smallest things, and not being able to communicate effectively? And because of this, you might be one bad decision away from losing the people that you care about the most in your life, because they simply cannot take any more hurt from you. And they might have lost faith that you will ever actually decide to take control of your ADHD mind. Maybe you've been feeling misunderstood because from the outside, you look like you've got it all together. Successful career or business, picture perfect family, doing well financially, but deep down, on the inside, you are drowning in mental chaos, overthinking, overwhelm, anxiety, stress, self-doubt, confidence, and not knowing how to get out of this stuck place that you're in. And maybe life just feels too much to handle right now. And just to survive the day, you trap yourself in unhealthy habits, smoking, drinking, binge eating, doom scrolling, maybe even doing other substances, just to escape that exhausting mental chaos for a small part of your day. Well, if you've been nodding your head up and down to everything that I've just said, I need you to pay very, very close attention. Because I'm going to show you the exact and only solution that you've been searching for to get your ADHD under control once and for all. And make sure you got a pen and paper handy because you're going to want to take notes. If we're just meeting, I'm George and I'm clinically diagnosed with the combined type ADHD, and I'm the founder of the rapidly growing Mind Your ADHD Academy. Internationally recognized, acknowledged and certified by the international practitioners of holistic medicine. And right now, professionals, business owners and engineers are currently transforming their ADHD from a curse into their greatest superpower effortlessly and permanently inside the academy using my proven breakthrough method, the Triple R framework. Just this year alone, I've helped over 40 professionals, engineers and business owners just like you to silence that mental chaos that's been causing them a ton of exhaustion, ton of anxiety, and help them to find focus and take action and finally gain control of their ADHD mind without burning out or procrastinating, without relying on therapy, medication or generic tools that you are seeing all over social media. It's how I helped Dr. Ahmed, a successful dentist, go from doubting himself, feeling overwhelmed and feeling like his life was going nowhere, like ADHD was keeping him stuck in the past, to finally being able to just let go and find inner peace and happiness in himself and finally find that meaning in life again. It's how I helped Kashif, a project manager, go from constantly procrastinating and unfinished tasks to constantly starting and now finishing tasks with laser focus without burning out or crashing. And because of this, he's taken his career to new heights. It's how I helped Charisse, a wellness coach, go from feeling anxious, lost, and even ashamed to ask for help, to finally understanding how her ADHD brain works and feeling calm and in control of life again. It's how I helped Holly, a nurse, go from 17 years of failed therapy and feeling like her life was a constant struggle with no way out, to letting go of regrets and resentments and becoming a stronger mum and partner. And it's how I helped Salma, an architect, go from losing her voice, constantly people pleasing and really stuck in painful triggers, to healing past wounds, creating real boundaries and saving her relationship that was on the brinks of collapse. The list goes on and on. And the secret? Using my Triple R framework to do a deep mental reset, allowing you to harness the true power of your ADHD mind quickly and permanently. And I'm going to talk you through exactly how you can do it right now. It's made up of 3 distinct phases and each phase building on the last. The first phase is the release phase. Here, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify and release all of the subconscious patterns that are causing your ADHD symptoms. And most people don't even know that these exist. The second phase is the Realign phase. I'm going to show you how to change the way that you view ADHD and yourself, which will allow you to immediately start new, productive behaviors instead of staying stuck in negative cycles. And this is a massive unlock that nobody talks about. Lastly, I will show you how to redesign your life to work with your ADHD brain instead of against it, so you can make these positive changes permanent and embrace ADHD as the superpower that it truly is. And you cannot miss this section. Sound good? Awesome, let's dive in. Firstly, I want to make it clear that your lifelong struggle with ADHD is not your fault. You were just never taught how to manage your unique mind, how to work with your ADHD brain instead of against it. You've probably felt so misunderstood and dismissed by every single person you've tried to share your struggles with and decided that maybe you're lost cause. That's because society just isn't set up to help people with ADHD like me and you. It's estimated that 1 in 6 people are living with ADHD today, and the majority of them are currently undiagnosed, which means that most people are suffering in silence. Women are often not diagnosed until their late 40s and 50s when hormonal changes during menopause cause their ADHD symptoms to become unbearable to live with, leading to severe severe emotional and mental ADHD burnout. Whereas men tend to be diagnosed with ADHD earlier in life, but just put on medication and then forgotten about. And I know because that was my experience too. For years, I wondered why I struggled so much in life. Why it felt like I always had 100 tabs open in my brain. Why I couldn't just get my life together like everybody else. I suffered for over 28 years. I was over £40,000 in debt. I suffered with a severe depression alongside daily anxiety attacks. And I thought there was no way out. And every night I would just beat myself up with the same thoughts. George, you're a loser. You're broken. You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. You are a failure. When in fact, I was an electrical engineer with a very successful business. But my personal life was a mess and my impulsive spending kept me broke. My wife's sister, who's a counsellor, suggested that maybe I get tested for ADHD because she was able to see traits in me that I couldn't see. Or maybe deep down, I didn't want to see. So I went to the doctors to get tested for ADHD, only to be told that there's a 2 to 10 year wait or I would have to pay and go private. Out of desperation to save my marriage while nearly bankrupt, I pulled out an old credit card and borrowed money that I had no idea how I was even going to pay back. So I paid to go down the private route and I was officially diagnosed with the combined type ADHD, which I was told was the most severe. I was handed some medication and just sent on my way. And for a short while, I actually felt relieved because I truly felt that I found a cure and all of my problems would suddenly just disappear and I would suddenly become more relaxed, more peaceful, more present and more calm with ADHD and start living a normal life like everybody else. But the medication never helped. It just left me feeling numb with severe heart palpitations that were uncontrollable and a brutal crash just before bed. And I felt even worse than I ever had before. So when the medication didn't work for me, I was at rock bottom. I truly thought that if medication can't fix me, I must be broken beyond repair. And with a baby on the way and on the brink of destroying my entire marriage, I realized that nobody was going to come and save me. So I was going to have to figure out a way to save myself. And one of the hard truths that I didn't know back then is that research has shown that people living with uncontrolled ADHD day by day can lose over a decade of their lifespan compared to those who take control of their ADHD. And being a husband and a father, I wanted to be around for as long as I possibly could. So I became obsessed. I tried every productivity hack, mindset trick, literally everything. Every single framework out there, I literally tried to try and fix my life. And at first, it felt like nothing worked. But then I started to see a pattern. The problem actually wasn't my lack of focus, procrastination, burnout, exhaustion, mental chaos, never getting things done, procrastinating, self-doubt, self-sabotage, low confidence. I realized that all of those symptoms were just external symptoms of ADHD. I then realized that if I could just fix what was going on internally, the root cause that was causing all of the external symptoms, then all of those external symptoms would just naturally go away on their own. And this was the reason that all of those generic tools and advice that are flooding social media right now, things that I genuinely tried and listened to, never worked. I didn't know this at the time, but what I was about to stumble upon would eventually become the only solution that wouldn't just save my life, but would transform so many ADHD lives from all around the world. And that's when the Triple R framework was born. And I'm going to give you this exact framework right now. The framework is split into 3 phases: release, realign, redesign. So let's first look at phase 1, which is release. If you've ever thought to yourself, I'm lazy, I'm broken, I'm stupid, I'm not good enough, I need you to hear me on this. That voice in your head is not the truth. That's just a story that you've been telling yourself for your whole life. And I want you to imagine an iceberg for a moment. See, our ADHD symptoms are kind of like the tip of the iceberg, the part that you can see. But the actual cause of the symptoms that you are seeing in your life today are hidden way beneath the surface, the part that you can't see. It's the subconscious thoughts, beliefs, stories that you tell yourself, the traumas that you've lived with, all of these things that we carry internally that cause the external symptoms that we see in our day to day. But the real struggle is the story underneath. The story that you're not good enough, you're a failure, your brain is broken beyond repair. Those beliefs come from your past, traumatic experiences in your life, often stemming as far back as childhood. And most of us have no idea that these beliefs are even in there, living in our subconscious mind, creating our day-to-day ADHD struggles. Just like Holly in the Mind Your ADHD Academy, she's a nurse and she was showing up to work every single day as if everything was fine. But privately, she was struggling at the deepest level. She really thought that she was failing her son, her partner, and herself. She said, George, I'm broken, nothing can help me, and I'm failing every single person around me. And Holly was desperate for a solution. See, where most people go wrong, including the therapists and the productivity gurus, is that they are trying to fix the problem at the surface level. And these are not bad people, they've just never lived with ADHD like me and you have. And it's virtually impossible to help with something that you've never experienced yourself. But if you never release this pain that's keeping you stuck in your past, you will stay trapped in negative ADHD cycles for the rest of your life, no matter how hard you try to break free from it. Holly had spent 17 years and tens of thousands of pounds just sitting in therapy, talking about her negative self-talk, shame, guilt, trauma, without ever actually releasing it or moving forward in life. So that's why the first step is always to release these pains, traumas, beliefs, and stories that you tell yourself, the stories that are keeping you stuck in your past right now. Because only then can you start successfully harnessing the true power of ADHD in your life permanently. We didn't focus on fixing Holly's routine or negative self-talk. We released the trauma that was causing this pain so she can break free from this pain for the rest of her life. And the result from this? Holly said, "For the first time in my life, I finally have a future worth living." Holly started waking up without anxiety, guilt, or shame. She stopped feeling like a failure before her day even began. And she set boundaries in herself because she realized that she was finally worthy of respect. Her son got his mum back, and her partner got the woman that he loved back. And Holly got herself back, calm, confident, and in control for the first time in her life. And that's why the first step in my Triple R framework is just learning to release. Now this brings us to phase number 2, which is to realign. Because maybe you're thinking, George, I've tried everything and nothing has worked for me. Why would this be any different? And the majority of people within the Mind Your ADHD Academy had the exact same thoughts as you. But they were so fed up and exhausted of just trying to lead a normal life that for everyone else just seems so easy. So they put aside their disbelief in this moment. They had already tried medication, therapy, fancy tools, fancy apps. And when none of that actually creates a permanent solution, the belief starts to creep in that nothing actually works. And the real reason nothing is working is because you haven't realigned your sense of self, your identity. Let me explain. Take Maya, for instance, an aspiring lawyer. She looked like she had it all together on paper. But at home, her relationship with her family was collapsing as she felt stuck and lost. She was so easily triggered that every conversation with her family just turned into a heated argument. And Maya once told me, George, I've tried everything. It's too late. We're just too far gone. And maybe you've had a similar thought. This is just the way things are. But it does not have to be this way. Because our brain protects one thing above all, and that's our identity. It really don't matter how many new habits, tools, or routines you try. If they clash with who you really believe you are at the deepest level, eventually your brain will find a way to self-sabotage and just pull you back to your old ADHD cycles, the cycles that have kept you stuck in survival mode all of this time. For Maya, her breakthrough didn't come from more fancy tools. It came from rewiring herself at the deepest level, allowing herself to become the person that her family could trust, rebuilding her relationships that were once beyond repair. Maya actually told me directly, since enrolling in your Mind Your ADHD Academy, I finally feel like I have my family back. And we didn't force any new behaviors. All we did was realign her core identity. And it's simpler to do than you think. When you realign, new behaviors come naturally to you because they don't clash with your sense of self. And you could just breathe with a sigh of relief because that exhausting fight to maintain a normal life is now over. And if you're thinking, this sounds amazing, but I just don't have the time and energy to do any of this. I've got a family, I've got a business, a career, and I'm already drowning. That's why you need the third and final step, which is the redesign. Once your hidden traumas have been released, and I guarantee they're in there, and your sense of self, your identity has been realigned, now you need to redesign, or life will eventually pull you back to your old ADHD cycles that you're stuck in right now. And because of the redesign phase, we can ensure that all the new changes that you make are permanent. Because us ADHDers tend to live reactively, spending all of our time and energy relying on willpower and motivation just to manage ADHD symptoms enough just to survive the day, without ever actually being in control of our future. And before we know it, we reach the end of our lives and look back at a life of regret, unfulfilled dreams, unfinished tasks, and so much wasted potential. But in the redesign phase, all of that changes. You create a system that works with your ADHD brain that effortlessly guides you towards your dreams and your goals. And don't worry if you don't know what your dreams or goals are right now, because how could you? Because you're probably stuck in brain fog right now. But once you navigate through the release and realign phase, your purpose and meaning in life comes to you naturally. Everything becomes so much clearer from that point on, because once you clear the clouds, you can see the sun. When Lloyd, a successful engineer, entered this phase, he didn't just get control of his ADHD mind, but he created a brand new vision of his future, with the accountability and systems to actually get him there, easily and effortlessly. No more unfulfilled plans and ideas, just simple, structured, concrete action. We put Lloyd in environments that support his focus and helped him to build a structure in his life that makes his future goals inevitable. Imagine knowing that with 100% confidence, you're going to unlock your full potential, follow through on your plans, and actually reach your goals and dreams in life. Just take a quick moment right now, close your eyes, and just take a deep breath. Allow yourself to dream and just think about the next question. What could life look like for you if ADHD was no longer keeping you stuck? Actually allow yourself to see it. Are you better off financially? Are you closer with your loved ones? Is your physical and mental health thriving right now in this new version of you? Now, I want you to imagine the opposite. What does life look like if you never reach these goals? Because that's possible too. How will you survive financially 10 years from now? How will your spouse, business partner, or kids see you? How will you see yourself? One of the hardest truths of someone with ADHD is that there are only two outcomes. Either you learn to work with your ADHD brain, or you don't. Either you show up for yourself and knows that you care about, or you don't. If your eyes are still shut, you can open them now. And here's what you need to know. For most ADHDers inside of the Mind Your ADHD Academy, their deepest pain wasn't the lack of focus, procrastination, stress, self-doubt, anxiety, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of overwhelm. It was actually feeling completely alone, feeling so misunderstood that they didn't even feel confident enough to ask for help. So instead, most of them just suppressed their emotions, as in their mind, that was the only option. So they just kept secretly drowning. Most of them stayed stuck for years in constant denial, acting like everything was okay. And it was this that kept them suffering for years, sometimes even decades. Do not allow yourself to suffer any longer. And right now, you have 4 life paths ahead to choose from. Life path 1, you do nothing and you get off this video right now. Things stay exactly as they are, and tomorrow just brings the same guilt, the same shame, the same fear of failure, the same fear of not being good enough, and the same emotional overwhelm that you've been carrying for so many years. And a year, or maybe even a decade from now, the only thing that has changed is your ADHD struggles have just gone 10 times worse, and the pain that you are carrying is 100 times heavier. Life path 2, you try figuring this whole thing out alone. You go on Google, you search YouTube videos, you buy books, and you promise yourself that this time will be different. But we both know where that leads. More burnout, more frustration, and just more wasted years. And then there's life path 3. You work with a therapist. The problem is, most therapists only know about ADHD from what they've been taught in textbooks. Which brings us to life path number 4, which is you speak with me directly by simply scheduling a free one-to-one roadmap discovery call. And on this private call, we'll dive deep into your unique ADHD situation in a way that you've never done before. And together, me and you will create a custom roadmap that you can start using immediately to start making positive changes in your life. And if you feel like you would be a good fit for the Mind Your ADHD Academy and you would love to be part of a like-minded community, then we can discuss what that might look like too. But full transparency, I don't work with just anyone. I only work with people that are truly ready for change, people that are coachable, people that are open-minded, and are genuinely in need of a permanent solution to fix their ADHD struggles once and for all, without ever falling back to their old ways. So if that's you, tap the button below right now and choose a time to speak with me directly. This free one-to-one roadmap call could end your struggles, frustration, and negative cycles forever. And do you want to know what the biggest frustration for every single person inside the Mind Your ADHD Academy right now is? It's wishing they got help sooner, because they will never ever get all of those wasted years back. Your worst case scenario? After our call, you will leave feeling deeply seen, maybe for the first time in your life, with a free custom ADHD roadmap to help you start making positive changes in your life immediately. And your best case is your life changes forever as we transform your ADHD from your biggest curse, from your biggest struggle, into your greatest superpower permanently in 90 days. And the people around you, whether it's at home or at work, will be amazed by the new you. So ignore the voice saying, "I'll schedule it later," because that's the same voice that's kept you stuck for years. And let today be the day that you look back on as the day that you finally took action. So schedule your free one-to-one roadmap call now, and I look forward to speaking to you.